Hey guys, it's FiendFriends91, and this time we're gonna do the last character of the 5 people in 400 days, and we're gonna get the bio done. And we're gonna go straight on to Shel, which was one of my favorite characters in The Walking Dead 400 Days. Shel's story begins at Jill's pit stop a few days after Bonnie's story, actually. It's probably one of the closest relations story-wise, other than Tavia, obviously, who I think arrives like a week afterwards. Not sure. But with Shel, her group is seen as such nice people at first. It honestly reminds me of the motoring group, and honestly, Shel's gameplay style reminds me the most of how you used to play in the original game. Instead of people talking to you, Shel actually gets to walk around and talk to people. It actually feels more like the original Walking Dead than the other 4 stories did. And it's clear that the writers took much more time on this one than they did with the other stories. Shell's story, I think, is the longest, and it's also the most detailed. It also is the only story to stretch more than the initial day that it came on. I think it goes like 3 days afterwards, after you decide on whether or not to kill the guy or not, and I think that's what happens. It's about 3 days afterwards. Now, Shell's character is unique in the sense that she has Becca, someone she has to take care of. It's kind of like Lee and Clementine, except Becca's much older, and Becca honestly seems to be taking care of herself pretty much. There's no other character in 400 Days who has that type of person with them. So it's pretty unique and pretty nice. Becca in herself is pretty unique because she's the only person, that non-playable character, that's at the campsite when Tavia comes to the campsite. Now, during the whole decision on whether to kill this guy, Becca shows that she's very kind of into just killing whoever they are to survive. She's not Clementine. She's definitely not Clementine, okay? She's more like Carl. I actually was going to label this video Becca is Carl, but I didn't want to make it too much of a long title. Becca is like Carl. She's just like, kill this guy. He tried to steal our food. Kill him, right? And then later on, Becca will also admit to have broken the rules, like walking out the fence and getting some air. And I'm like, okay, now she definitely is Carl. Carl was into breaking rules, okay? Rules that he did not agree with. Even when his dad was making them, Carl used to, in certain circumstances, think that his dad was weak and he needed to break the rule. And I was like, they literally just took Carl, gave him a female body, and named her Becca. Anyway, let's get off Becca for a couple minutes here, because the next part of the story has you once again walking, which once again is much more like the original Walking Dead than the other ones are. You get to choose whether to kill Stephanie or not. And with Stephanie, it was really a shock, because if you don't kill the guy, it doesn't really make sense why Stephanie would want to take the stuff and go. Unless maybe it's because after the attack she just got scared and she's like, let me take this stuff and just see how I am on my own. I don't know. It just I've never not killed the guy, so I don't know what happens. I don't know what role Boyd plays in this part if he doesn't die, because I've never not killed the guy. So I mean, I've never killed the guy, so I don't know how it is to have Boyd here afterwards. What is unique though is how they have the cancer survivors, and Vernon didn't survive. Apparently, there was some type of boat incident, like maybe Vernon got too greedy trying to use the boat, and they couldn't get it on the sea, or maybe maybe the walkers attacked them and Vernon got killed. But there's 3 of the cancer survivors, so Vernon obviously didn't survive, or something happened to him and he got separated at least. Anyway, during this whole Stephanie thing, you can't convince Roman not to kill Stephanie. Rowan is becoming kind of like a dictator. He's kind of like becoming what Crawford was. Any threat gets killed, in a sense. Like, he can't even go, he doesn't even allow them to leave. He says, anyone who knows where we are cannot leave. That's even worse than Crawford. Crawford allowed you to leave. They allowed you to leave the community. That was your choice. Either follow their rules or leave, or die. But other follow the rules or leaves. So he's even getting worse than Crawford. But what makes matters worse is how Becca's attitude is toward this whole thing.
Will be our last mistake.
Becca, Stephanie is your friend.
Was my friend.
Of course, then comes the decision whether you have to leave in the RV or kill Stephanie. Now, the first time, the problem with this once again is that it's too limited to me. I didn't want to have to make the decision whether to leave in the RV or kill Stephanie. I wanted to have to make a decision where I could talk to Stephanie as well. So I actually grabbed my gun initially to see if I could talk to Stephanie, but no, it just ends there after you go to kill Stephanie. So it's either leave in the RV or kill Stephanie. And it's really limited. And 400 Days in general is just a limited amount of choices. Much more limited than the original game. Anyway, Shel's personality type doesn't really, once again, it's by your choice, but Shel seems like a kind person. She also seems to take things seriously. So to me, she is very. It'd be very strange for her to kill Stephanie. The fact that Becca offers to do it once again shows that she's Carl. It reminds me of how Carl killed Ben in the comic. Spoiler alert. How he when the group was arguing whether to kill Ben, Carl went in there and just killed him, and he was a 5-year-old boy. Carl just killed a 5-year-old boy in the comics. So it reminds me of Carl. Carl was kind of like any threat, kill it, and that's how Becca is like. Any threat, kill it. However, when you make the decision to drive away, I love Becca's reaction. It was one of the greatest reactions in this game ever. Because it was like, Becca was like, no, what are you doing? Stop, stop, stop. Like, Becca's like, let's stay here. Let's stay in this. I don't care if it's crazy. And then when Tavia comes later, if you decide to drive off, Becca really wants to leave.
Maybe we should go too, sis. If Roman is still looking for us, he wouldn't be able to do anything to us there.
If you don't, then you have to decide to not kill by. If you don't, then Becca, you have to tell her that there are kids where you are, so that Becca will want to go. But once again, they can be convinced otherwise. Shel is still unique because she has the only non-playable character with her at the camp, and she is by far, to me at least, the most deep story in this whole game. All right, other than that, she was a pretty good character. I liked her, but I'm finally done. Yay, I'm done. I'm done with these bios. What was that? I'm not done? Well, who's left? Oh, apparently I'm not done. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and God bless.